Welcome to the Mayor's Show. We have a great show, a lot of important information, and we want to just open up the show with some sad news, and I'll let the director talk about a police officer that was killed down in Philadelphia last week. It's very, very sad. So, Director, you want to pick up on that and talk about that?
Thank you, Mayor. We're all just very sorry right now for the travesty that happened at Temple University. Officer Fitzgerald, he was tragically killed 4 days ago. It's obviously something that struck us all. It should never happen, but it did happen, and it happened close to home. And our hearts, our prayers are with the family, and we'll be going down there Friday as a department, as a county, to pay our respects for the sacrifice he's made.
All right, thank you. And I want to introduce you now, our director, Bill McVey, and certainly Lieutenant next to me, Lieutenant Bob Bugsch. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
I got that right, didn't I, Bob Bugsch?
You did.
Yeah, okay, good. Anyway, that is very sad news. And you know, we have a large police force, and we worry every day, I do, about our men and women here in town and all over the country. So sad to say that this happened right here next to us in Philadelphia, and with God's graces and everything, it'll never happen here in Bensalem. We're going to shift now into, we're going to talk about bus patrol and bus safety and what's going on here in town. And Director, you want to pick it up on that, Bill, on the bus patrol and what's going on with that? You know, we did a show on this before, and we talked about what was going to happen with the cameras on the buses on. And this is a follow-up to give you the information of what's going on.
Certainly, Mayor. So thank you for having us today. And if you recall, and the viewers recall, in August we launched this program. And at that time, we were the first in the state of Pennsylvania to do it. It was bus patrol. And we're authorized to do this under Act 38 that was issued by the governor in 2020, which gives us the ability to cite drivers who violate the stop sign on a bus, or a stop arm, through the video that's captured. When we were presented with this idea, the statistic that I heard that was shocking was 17 million people violate a school bus arm per year. And that was shocking to me and everyone that heard this presentation. But the school district, Dr. Lee and myself, we bought into the program. All of our school buses were outfitted, and we launched on August 29th of this past year, the school year. So it's 108 days in, we just measured. And so far we've issued over 3,500 violations.
Oh, since August, since September when school started, right?
Yes, it's a shocking number that none of us...
That is shocking.
None of us anticipated that. But the goal of this whole program is to change driver behavior, to get people to be aware, to stop, to keep the kids as safe as we can. And through this program, we, on a daily basis, 35 people in Bensalem violate that stop arm.
You got to stop there for a minute. I want to try to understand that. Passing the buses, violations, 35 per day, here in Bensalem. We would never believe that before. No. I know the police stopped as many as they could, but I know they could never get that many every day.
No, and you're absolutely right. Our police would, but we only really would get maybe 50 to 60 per year, because when people see a police motorcycle or a police car, they obey the law. But the drivers were constantly reporting people violating. So this program has really substantiated what they have told us for years. And the reason for the show today is the follow-up, because we've identified 3 hotspots where we're getting most of the violations on a daily basis. And what I wanted Lieutenant Bugsch to talk about is the difference between when a police officer stops you and writes that ticket, what the consequences are, compared to the bus patrol, which is a civil penalty of $300. And I would like to also mention, before we turn it over to Lieutenant, our local judges here, Judge Gallagher and Falcone. Since we were the first in the state to do this, they played a really critical role in this to get the process going through the courts. So myself, Sergeant Vandergriff, and the command staff to put this together, we're thankful to them that help us got this going, which will be a model for the state.
Goes back to my team.
Yes, sir.
You need a team to make these things work. Lieutenant?
Yes, sir.
Bring us up to date.
Well, since we deployed it, we have some statistics that we were provided through bus patrol, and we're now utilizing traffic enforcement unit, which is our motorcycle unit. There's 6 of us out there, including me, and we're deploying to some of the local hotspots that bus patrol has identified, and we've been out there since yesterday we started, and so far with high visibility, hopefully that will prevent more violations in the future. if we wind up getting you, it is more of a severe punishment than if bus patrol gets you. If one of the officers stop you for violating that bus stop arm, the driver's looking possible 60-day suspension on the driver's license, $250 fine, and a 5 points added to their driver's license if they're convicted of that violation of passing.
An officer stop.
That's if an officer stops them. Bus patrol, I believe it's just a $300 civil penalty designed to curb the behavior. So we're out there being deployed in those areas along Knights Road and Route 13. They've been identified as hotspots, and we're hoping to change the behavior out there.
If you remember, when I first went in, Knights Road is where I saw the first one happen.
Yes, sir.
I said somebody passed, and
You called me that morning.
They called that morning, and I think it was the first day they went in.
It was, yes.
So, yeah, and it's astonishing.
Correct.
I mean, you're out there, you see it. I mean, what the heck?
The guys are out there. We have a lot of positive feedback from the officers being in the school zones. Officer Hennihan's one that's known throughout the community. He's always out there in our school zones. And we're really hoping to make a difference and get these violations down and curb the behavior. Our main objective for this unit is education and enforcement. And no better mechanism to do that than our motorcycle unit that we have here in Bensalem.
And this is, has anybody else done this since we've done it?
A few municipalities have in the state. I believe the Chamonix is looking into it, but no one regionally close to us. And they did an article in the Inquirer to basically highlight the program in Pennsylvania, since it is new. But Bensalem right now is on the forefront of this.
You know, a lot of people since inception come up to me and say, "Big brother," you know, they're worried about big. I said, "Yo, you save one child, just one. Forget the rest of this stuff. I mean, you got to put this program in, and it's effective."
Agreed.
35 people every day. Is it 35 a day?
35 a day. Recently,
come on.
it came down to 32. We're hoping this time next year it's down to like in the teens or the 20s. So over time, the goal was to reduce
Well, we
that
hope
number.
never have to have it. I mean, I guess there's instances, I guess, where orange or they think they go through. I don't get it. When a school bus stops, why they just don't? I don't get it. I mean, what is an excuse? There is none. But what would make somebody go buy a bus?
I think a lot of people, what you just indicated, the yellow flashing lights, instead of slowing and stopping, they speed up. Like they would at a red light sometimes. They want to get through that light. They're going to their place of work. They're in a rush. When you see the yellow lights come on, you have a duty to begin your vehicle to stop so you can stop in time. It's not to speed up to get through, and that's where we see some of it.
And,
Another.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go
That's
ahead.
okay. Another factor is inattention. There are a lot of things inside the vehicles these days that didn't used to have in the vehicle. An infotainment system that's in your car that has a GPS and has a map, and people are looking at that rather than looking at the road. And their phones. The phone's the number one behavior problem that we have is people on their phones. It's just it's the biggest culprit, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of distractions, like you say, on there. You know, something I wanted to bring up, like Street Road. It's a 5-lane highway.
Correct.
If a bus stops, do you have to stop there, both sides of the road?
It all depends where at on Street Road. If you're at a portion of Street Road where there is a fixed divided barrier, highway divided, concrete, grass median, no, they don't have to stop going the opposite direction. However, further down Street Road where you have a painted median, two-way left turn lanes, they have to stop both directions.
I think that's important. That's an important issue because they think that because, you know, they got through traffic and it's a major highway, they don't have to stop.
And it's a very good issue. We see it on Knights Road. So there's a grass median. You still have to stop with that. As Lieutenant said, it's the concrete barrier, like you would see on the Turnpike, or you see Street Road by Kingston, past Richelieu.
Right.
There's a center divider, concrete.
right.
That's the only time you don't have the obligation.
Okay.
Because the concrete divider would stop
Yeah,
the
that's
threat.
come across a few times
Yes.
to me about that. And I just say, look, if it's stopped, you have to stop. But if there's a divider, you don't.
Correct.
That's the only instance.
Physical barrier.
Anything you want to add?
No, just motorcycle guys are out there for you, Mayor, and we're educating the public, and hopefully this will curb this behavior that is, in our eyes, off the charts, and it really has opened our eyes with this bus patrol, how many violations are occurring every day.
Well, I'll give you the last word, Director.
Last word is, like we said in August, stop when you see the stop sign. Remember that the police are out there doing their job, and I would ask people to follow us on social media because we put all of the bus stop laws on there. We have videos on when you have to stop, like to explain what we just talked about with the dividers, so you can track that, follow that, and learn. And just be careful driving and pay attention. We don't want to see a kid get struck or anything bad happen.
Okay. Lieutenant?
Thank you,
Good
sir.
to have you here as always.
Pleasure.
Director?
Thank you, Mayor.
Great to have you here. And again, in your prayers for our officer who lost his life down at Temple University last week. Till next time, everybody, God bless.